I know you're sick and tired of constantly doubting yourself or playing it small as an entrepreneur. You don't want to constantly be worried about what others might say, needing validation, and you don't want to be afraid to take a bold move and put yourself out there. I'm going to show you how you can show up as the confident and powerful leader that you are and become a true woman of influence. Welcome back to the Power of Personal Branding and Manifestation podcast. With your host, it's me, Malika, content creator, entrepreneur, and your girl to personal branding and manifestation. We're gonna dive into how you can overcome your doubt, your imposter syndrome, how to find your own voice, and really become a true woman of influence that is confident and impactful. Okay, because I have been seeing your comments. I have been seeing them. I've been hearing you. Okay, you're doubting yourself. You are starting your business, or you have been having your business, but like you are not in your power. Okay, so this is the episode for you. Okay, so let's, grab your drink, grab a matcha. I may have obviously my matcha here. And let's dive into it because I'm so excited. Okay, let's go. When I look at who I used to be versus who I am now, the shift is like insane because I used to literally not tell anyone what I was doing, what I was up to, who I really wanted to be, the things that I actually wanted to achieve, or the stuff that like was actually my goals. Like I would not talk about them. I was like literally afraid to say it to other people, to talk about it. And I was even like when I was doing my business and all that stuff, like I was even really concerned when I would like be working or editing a video on my phone, and I really wanted the people around me, my family, my brother, my parents to like know that like it was because I was working, like I didn't want them to think like I was just on my phone having fun. Like I wanted them to think that I was working and I was doing something productive at my phone, and like that was, looking back now, like I see that was literally a sign that like I was really seeking that outside validation because I was not confident in myself, because I was not confident in what I chose to do and what I was doing. And I wanted to have that outside validation. Basically, that's why I was seeking it outside of myself, right? Because I was doubting myself. All right. And so I wasn't like in my power. I wasn't finding my own voice. And I really was like putting a break into finding my own like potential and really stepping into my power, right? Because I was always concerned with all these people around me and I was not putting that energy into me, right? And so first thing that I have to bring up is how you will stop needing validation from others. What I realized, always being concerned with how they would perceive me when I would be working or when I was on my phone, or how I was achieving my goals, like it was always a reflection of my own insecurities that I was projecting onto them. And so I felt like I had to constantly prove myself. And it was not productive. Like I kept putting all that energy on the outside when I could have been putting all that energy in me to build my confidence, and realize that like I didn't need to prove myself because I know that I was already putting in effort into what I wanted to accomplish. And the thing is that the more you entertain this, the more you keep repeating the cycle of like you are nurturing this doubt that you have in yourself. Like every time that you are trying to prove yourself to someone is because you are like literally amplifying this feeling of lack that you were feeling, right? And so I realized like I had to break that cycle because it was such a waste of time and of energy, and it did nothing good for me except like literally amplify the doubts that I had. And maybe you don't even realize that that's what it's doing, but that is what it's doing. So when you finally break that cycle, it feels so good because you can finally step into your power and you don't seek that validation anymore because you know that like you already have it in you and you feel so empowered. And so I'm going to share with you what I did that has helped me tremendously. So first of all, okay, is that I stopped putting people on a pedestal because that is literally what you're doing when you're constantly trying to prove to someone. Like you're putting them on a pedestal and you want to ask yourself like, hey, like, why do I actually feel the need to prove myself? Like, why do I have this need, right? And for me, I realized it's because, like I said, I was constantly doubting myself and I was projecting that doubt onto the outside. Number two is that you want to ask yourself like, okay, do I know that I am putting in the effort, the work, the energy, the mindset into this that I need to do in order to achieve those goals, in order to become that person that I want to be? And if you know that you already are doing that, then just trust the process and trust that you are putting in what it takes and that it's all that it takes, okay? And if you feel like you are not, what you want to do is that you want to get very, very clear on the kind of person that would achieve these things, that is the person that you want to be, and get very, very clear on who that is, because that is who you are going to become. And the clearer the picture is, the easier it is to move towards it, right? And it's not just like what you're doing, is like your action, how you're feeling about yourself, your energy, what you radiate, your thoughts, what you think about, the action, the way you move through life. Like all these things are part of who you want to be. Number three is that you are going to make a list of affirmation that paints you in that light and that reinforce that identity and that new version of you that you are becoming, okay? And you want to say that out loud, and at first it will feel uncomfortable. Like when I first started doing affirmation, it feels so uncomfortable. But the thing is that you need to remember that it feels uncomfortable only because your old self and your ego is trying to self-sabotage you. And that is why it feels uncomfortable. And if you let your ego win, you are letting yourself self-sabotage. And so you need to be confident enough and strong enough to be like, this is what I want. Even though it feels uncomfortable, I'm going to keep doing these affirmations until it feels like me and it doesn't feel uncomfortable anymore. And that is when you take on this new identity. And when you take on this new identity, you become a whole another woman, I'm telling you. Okay, but the affirmation is not the only thing you need to do. Number four is going to be to take action as this version of you, okay? So the affirmation helps, right? But with the action, these are going to build up little wins for yourself that is going to prove that you are becoming that person. And like I said, it will feel uncomfortable. It's normal. It feels uncomfortable. It will feel uncomfortable until you become that person. If it feels uncomfortable, you are doing it right. That means that you are expanding and you are becoming that woman that is literally stepping into her power. Like that is what you are doing. And if you stop because it feels uncomfortable, you will not reach that new version of yourself. And so you need to tough it out, and at some point it won't feel comfortable because you're so used to taking these bold action that you would not usually take, but you are doing, and eventually it's becoming your new normal. You're like used to it at this point. But most of all, I need to tell you, okay, you need to stop performing for other people, right? Because this is not what matters, and this is not you being in your power, right? And so when you realize that you are doing that, you need to consciously be like, hey, let me stop doing that. And the thing that is so important to know is that if you're constantly just worrying about what other people think of you, how they perceive you, and all these things because you want them to see you as this new person that you want to become, but you're not that person yet, or you don't feel like you're that person yet, you are wasting your time, okay? Because when you put that energy into yourself, you actually change for real. And you change how you feel, you change how you are, And so you become this really empowered version of you, and then other people perceive you differently because you actually changed, right? Because you actually put all that energy into you. And so that is what really matters. And the second part to how you stop needing that validation from others is to start nurturing that feeling that you think you will have once you achieve something, or once you become this person, or once you achieve this milestone or whatever. Because take it from experience, okay? I thought, okay, that let's say I was making more money. I thought that by making more money, I would feel differently, because there was a point in my business where there was a point where I was not really making that much money, and I really wanted to make more money. And then when I did make a lot more money than when I first started, I was still feeling like it was not enough, because when I was not making that much money, I was constantly feeling like it was not enough. I need to make more, it's not enough. And then I made more, and then I still had that feeling, but I thought by making more, I would be feeling successful, I would feel more proud of myself, I would feel all these things, and I didn't, because the whole journey coming up to achieving that goal that I had, I was training my brain the whole time to feel that lack, to feel that way. And so when I achieved that goal, I didn't feel different. Like, I felt the same. I felt like it was not enough. Like, I didn't feel more successful. I didn't feel more proud of myself. And this is when I realized, like, okay, I need to change something, because you need to enjoy the journey as well, and not just do it for the goal, because the goal lasts 5 seconds. Okay, like the hype of like, oh my god, I did it, like maybe lasts a day or two, whatever. Okay, but after, you're like back to normal, like, you know. So you need to really embody that feeling that you want to feel, because that is when you really start enjoying who you are. You really start enjoying what you do, and you move differently. You just are embodying this energy that radiates, that becomes so magnetic to other people, and you start really leaning into your power as a leader, and other people get inspired by you. You start attracting different people into your life, and they start viewing you differently, because you are literally embodying this amazing energy. And now let's dive into finding your own voice. Okay, finding your own voice is truly something so fucking powerful. Okay, because when you constantly are looking around you to what other people are doing in your niche or in your industry, comparing yourself, seeing what other people are doing, what's working for them, how they are setting up their business, how they're setting up their approach, how they're talking, how they're showing up online, how they're moving through life, or whatever, okay? When you are constantly comparing yourself, wanting to do like a copy paste of what's working for someone else, you are not finding your own voice. And if you really look at people that, like, even for me, like when I look at people that I inspire to, that I look up to, that I see as like badass women that are super powerful and they are leader, they are not copying anybody. They're not looking around. They're not like looking at like what this person is doing, comparing themselves. They really trust themselves so much, and they just show up in their own approach, in their own personality, in their own unique style, in their own thoughts, their own values, their own mission. Like, they're so unique to themselves, and that what makes them the leader that they are. Like, that is what you need in order to be that powerful woman that you want to be, that confident entrepreneur that you want to be. You need to really tune in within yourself and like put the blinders on, like in your face, okay? Because you need to lean into yourself. Like, what is your own approach? What is your own mission? Like, what is the thing that you bring to the table? And stop looking and wanting to copy paste what everybody else is doing. Because I used to do this, okay? When I look at me like years ago, especially for like content creation, I would look at like, okay, what is performing well in this niche? Okay, what is this video? Okay, I'm gonna recreate this video but put my twist on it. I'm gonna like kind of copy paste this video but like make it my own, you know? And it didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel like me, and it didn't work because why would people follow me or care about me if I'm already like I'm doing something that someone else is already doing? There's no point because I'm not bringing anything new to the table, right? Like that's the point of like, especially, you know, this podcast, we also talk about personal branding and all that stuff. Like personal branding is really tuned into who you are authentically, and that's why it's so powerful, because you literally lean into your own power and you're not looking at what everybody else is doing. You're not saying, oh, okay, this works for them, so I'm gonna do this. Like, no. And what I personally realized by looking at what other people were doing and comparing myself and whatever is that it didn't make me motivated. It didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel aligned. It didn't feel like me. And I just became overwhelmed, and it would create doubts in my mind. And you don't want doubts, because when you are in your power, when you are feeling confident, when you are a leader, you're not like constantly doubting yourself. Like you just are trusting yourself. Okay. And so instead you want to ask yourself, number one, what do I want to make people feel? Like for me, when other people watch my videos, I want them to feel like anything is fucking possible for them. Like I want them to feel like they are the baddest bitch ever. They can fucking do this. And I want them to feel like I believe in them. Okay, now second, okay, you want to know what's the impact that you want to create, because this is going to be so unique to you, right? Like what is the impact? Because if you're just showing up and you don't really know the impact that you want to leave, you are not going to act or show up according to that, right? And so for me, like I want to impact other girlies in like businesses and women's life. Like I want them to become the woman and the entrepreneur that they want to be, and really become the successful ass bitch that they want to be. All right. And number three is that how do you want to inspire them, right? Like, do you know how you want to inspire them? Number four is what feels aligned with me. Okay. And number five, what feels authentic to me, because again, like this is all about leaning into you and finding your own voice. And this is so much easier to do when you're not constantly clouding your mind with like other content, other people's stuff. Like, you know, sometimes like you need to find moments in which you can find your own inspiration, in which you can have your own idea flourish. Because if you're constantly consuming everybody else's ideas, how are your ideas coming to life, right? Like you need to be able to have space to listen to yourself. And how you will truly become a woman of influence. You are staying true to yourself, you are tuning into your mission, and you are really showing your values in everything that you do, okay? And women of influence don't copy others, because they're the one that starts the movement. They're the one that inspire others. They're the one that start shit up. If I think of someone particularly that did this for content creation, was Justine's camera roll. Okay, like she started a movement that everybody wanted to start their influencing journey, because she started documenting how she wanted to become a super huge influencer, and she did. And so many people started copying her and doing what she was doing, and she started a movement. And this is what it means to be a woman of influence. Like you are literally the one inspiring other people. And people love someone that has their own approach, that is not like everybody else, and showing up as you, 100% you, raw, not filtered, okay? And you're not trying to be something that you think people need. You're actually showing up as yourself 100% in all aspects of your life, not just online, in your life, with the people around you, with the actions that you take, with your mindset, with your energy, okay? All of these things makes you a woman of influence, makes you a true fucking badass leader. Because when you can be true to yourself 100%, first of all, this starts filtering everybody around you that is not aligned, that is clients, that is friends, that is just people in your life. And number two, okay, this starts really attracting everybody else that is like you, that thinks like you. Because if I think of me, like years ago, okay, I would do this, right? Like in my life, like online, I would show up as me. But then in my life, I was always wondering like, oh, why can't I find friends that are like this, that are into manifestation, that are into self-development, like why, whatever, because I wasn't like outwardly saying these things. And so how can people know and be attracted to me? Because these people that I'm looking for are loud, they are out there, they are speaking out, they are telling people what they're all about, because they don't give a fuck, because they own it. And they love that. They love that they own it, and they want other people to know, because they want to attract other people like that in their life. And so you need to do that as well. And what you'll start noticing is that when you start speaking your truth, and when you start showing up bold as you, as this amazing fucking version of you that makes you feel good, okay, you'll start noticing that like this starts encouraging people to do the same as you, to be showing up authentically as themselves. It gives them courage. It makes them feel brave. It makes them feel like they can fucking do this as well. If you think of like your favorite people that you look up to, like I'm sure that like they're not scared of saying what's on their mind. They're not scared of saying what they believe in, what they want, what their goals are, right? Like these are the people we look up to because we inspire to them, because they are literally in their power and you can feel it, right? And the next thing that I want to say about this is to stop thinking that you need permission, or that you need a diploma, or that you need proof that you can do something. Okay, start thinking big, start thinking bold as fuck. Like what is something that feels fucking scary and impossible, and literally start believing that you can do it. Okay, because for example, for me, I had on my vision board of this year that I wanted to host a masterclass, and I kind of I didn't forget about it, but like I wasn't really focusing on it that much. Okay, and this for me felt like a stretch. Like it felt like a stretch to be saying like I'm going to do a masterclass, and like I did that this year. And it was crazy because I literally put myself out there. I went and I was networking with some people, and I was able to literally have the opportunity to host a masterclass and be part of a masterclass, which is so amazing if you really think about it, because like I literally took the action of my next level self. I literally went to an event with like so many fucking people. I think there was like 150, maybe 200 people. I didn't know anyone. I went alone. And I just was like, yeah, I'm doing this. Like, this is the next version of me. Like, this is the bold move that I'm doing. And like, you know, for me, setting that goal of like doing a masterclass felt like a stress, but it happened. And so I need you to stop thinking that you need a diploma, or you need to have proof, or you need to have this, whatever, because there are people that have less than you and that have less proof than you of success, and they're still doing the things that you want to do. I'm telling you, I have seen it, and the only difference is the confidence, the way they carry themselves, and people perceive them differently because of that. They carry themselves differently. They look like a leader. They look like someone who would speak on the stage and people would listen to them. And then they make shit happen for themselves because of the way they carry themselves. And so I want you to stop thinking that you need to have proof, or you need this, or you need that to achieve that goal, or whatever. Like, start stretching yourself more, because you will see that like you will have these opportunities that will come to you that are bolder, better, that makes you feel so fucking good and empowered. This brings me to my next point, okay, which is how you will stop playing small, okay? Because you need to start playing big if you want to become a true woman of influence, okay, and impact other, make a difference. You can't keep making yourself small. When I finally decided to start speaking about manifestation, I started being very open about like what I believed in, what I stood for, what my values were. It allowed me to find in my friendship like other people were into manifestation, they were into that stuff. They like, you know, now I have a friend that like we always talk about manifestation and we're like, oh my god, like we're doing this manifestation routine, okay, like what are you doing, what's working out for you, like, you know. And like it allowed me to become that person that I wanted to be like years ago, you know? And so if you start showing up right now as that version of you, okay, this will also boost your confidence. And the one thing that I need to tell you about being confident is that confidence doesn't just show up. You don't just wait on it and then after, when you feel confident, then you start playing big. That's not how it works. How it works, okay, is that you take the action and you do the stuff and you put yourself out there when it feels like you are going to shit your pants. And with that action, it makes you build confidence. You build confidence through your actions. And so if you're constantly waiting to have confidence before taking that action, you're thinking it wrong, because by taking that action, it will give you confidence each time. What are the actions that can really take you out of your comfort zone? You know, that it's socializing with other people, that it's networking, that it's reaching out, that it's reaching into a community, joining community, that it's investing in coaching, investing in a course, investing in your equipment, that it's starting to talk on your content, you know, like whatever. And now finally, let's talk about how you will stop doubting yourself. Okay, because I'm not gonna say that like, oh yes, like you are never going to doubt yourself ever again in your life, because I think feeling doubt is somewhat normal, okay? But the important thing is to not let it win, okay? And obviously you feel much more empowered when you don't doubt yourself. So this is how you want to tackle that self-doubt and kiss it goodbye, okay? Number one thing I need you to remember is that every time that you feel doubt coming up, you need to know that this is only your ego saying, I have never done this before and I am scared. And so I am trying to protect you. And the thing is that this is self-sabotaging you. Okay, and so you need to start realizing like, oh shit, like this is my ego trying to protect me, but really it's self-sabotaging me. And make the shift to consciously lead with your heart, with your passion, with your energy, with your little soul. Because this really pulls out this spark that you have in you, instead of always trying to protect that ego that is scared of failing, that is scared of doing things, right? And really start pulling out your fucking heart instead of your ego. If you are doubting yourself as an entrepreneur because you're starting out or you're starting your business, I need you to remember that building a new version of yourself takes consistency. And like I said before, like it will feel uncomfortable. It will feel uncomfortable. It will feel like icky. And this is, again, your ego trying to protect you, but really it's self-sabotaging you. Have a list of affirmation that really blocks that out. So instead of entertaining all of these doubts that pops up in your mind, what I want you to do instead is start listing all of the ways that this can go right, and this will be amazing, and this will be the best thing ever, and this will literally happen for you and in the most amazing, perfect way that you want it to happen. Because you can literally shape the circumstances in which something manifests, because that's literally what you're doing. And when you can really visualize and feel in your soul the way that this happens for you, the way that you want it to happen, you literally move differently, because you are shifting your mindset around this fear and this doubt that you're having, which will then impact how you take action around it. And this will make it so that it manifests in the most amazing fucking way. Because for example, for me, when I have doubts, okay, because I have doubts sometimes that comes up and I'm like, oh my God, like maybe this is gonna happen. Maybe this is gonna happen. Like recently, I was feeling doubt, like something about a client that I was like, oh my God, maybe this is going to happen, like whatever. And then I was like, no, I'm just having doubts. And then I literally sat down, I took a small meditation, and I was just visualizing this happening for me in the best fucking way possible, in the best energy possible. And guess what? It happened in the best way possible after. Okay? And so literally, like, this fucking works. You need to trust the process, okay? You need to trust in the fucking manifestation. You need to trust in the fucking energy around you. If you have listened to this episode until the end, you have to join our free Facebook community group, okay? Now, this is where you truly get to flourish in a community that is like-minded, that uplifts you, that has ambition, that is driven, that has passion. Definitely tune into the free Facebook community group. The link for it is going to be down below. And if you love this episode, you think you know a friend, someone you know that would benefit from it, send it to them, okay? And let me know in the comment like what you thought of this episode, or if you have any doubts, specific doubts or stuff that you want me to help you with, okay? All right, stay amazing. Thanks so much for tuning in, and don't forget to leave your 5-star rate and review on the podcast. I love to know what you guys think of the episodes, and I will meet you here next week.